And so there's probably three main endocrine disrupting chemicals that are found in our environment, mainly because they're in plastic or they're also in things that are water resistant, oil resistant, fire resistant, flame retardant. BPA, bisphenol A is one. Another one is phthalates, pH, phthalates. And the last one would be PFAS. These are the forever chemicals. These are the three main, I would say, players in terms of disrupting endocrine function, endocrine being hormones, sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, but also thyroid hormone, very important for regulating our metabolism, for example.
Are they really causing a problem?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Because I'm looking at the picture you have there of PFAS? PFAS. And it's got like a coat and shoes on there. You're telling me the clothes that I wear are having an impact on my hormones?
They can, but I think it's less of a direct effect and more downstream. So the PFAS chemicals or the forever chemicals, they're used in things to make them oil resistant, stain resistant, water resistant. So the Teflon pans would be the biggest example. You remember those nonstick pans? They have Teflon. That has PFAS on it.
We're going to go into my kitchen in a second, so I'll take all of the viewers that are watching now into my kitchen. We'll have a stroll around my kitchen. You let me know if there's something.
Oh gosh, I hope you don't have Teflon. But I mean, my mom used it when I was, growing up. I remember the nonstick pans. That stuff is coming off into your food, and so you're eating these PFAS.
How do we know that they're dangerous?
Okay, well, I'll tell you how we know. Let's start with, so the PFAS chemicals are ones that are they're more affecting the thyroid. And they're affecting, I would say, ovarian aging. They seem to target the ovaries and accelerate the age that you're going to get menopause. So you're going to get it around 1 to 2 years earlier if you have a high amount of these forever chemicals. But there's been a lot of studies looking at, let's start with BPA. Okay, bisphenol A. That's a big one because you see a lot of marketing around BPA free. This plastic water bottle is BPA free. Well, it's BPA free, but it has another chemical called BPS, which is very similar, if not worse, than BPA. So BPA is something that's found in a lot of water bottles. It's in those plastic water bottles. It lines the cups of paper cups, like these to-go coffee cups that you're getting at your favorite, coffee place. Plastic is lining them, yes. Plastic lines them because it's protecting it from the liquid, right? BPA has been linked to many different diseases, but really, really, it's an endocrine disruptor. So what it does is a couple of things. One, BPA acts as an estrogen mimetic. So it kind of mimics estrogen and it binds to the receptors that estrogen do to do its function. And so it sometimes binds to estrogen and either makes it seem like there's estrogen around or it blocks estrogen from working. So it depends on the dose and the concentration, so it can do both. But it also binds to androgen receptors that interact with testosterone, right? And so there have been studies that have found that men that have high amounts of BPA also have low amounts of testosterone. But there was also a study done in teens. This is when, your sexual development is happening, right? Testosterone is very important during this part of your life, during puberty. Teens, adolescent boys that had the highest amount of BPA had 50% lower testosterone than the boys that had the lowest amount of BPA. The biggest one that's affecting testosterone is the phthalates. These phthalates, they are present in a lot of PVC piping. They're present in a lot of our food packaging, all those like thin, you go to to the grocery store and you get a filet mignon steak and it's wrapped in plastic. Poultry's, all that plastic wrapping and all the foods that we're eating has phthalates in them. They make it more flexible and stuff. And it's also found in our hair products, our cosmetic products, our creams. And it's also very lipid soluble. It likes fat. It is drawn to fat. So when you have plastic around fat, like cheese, things like that, meat, it's getting into that meat. It's getting into that cheese, the phthalates. These disrupt our hormones in ways similar to BPA. So they're binding to the androgen receptor, but they're also going into the testes and disrupting the synthesis of testosterone. So there was a study in men that had the highest phthalate levels. Those men had 20% lower testosterone compared to men with higher levels. And this is like, it's affecting not only just the testosterone, but it's affecting sperm quality. So the shape of the sperm wasn't good. It's affecting the number. So sperm count is down if they're higher BPA or higher phthalates, and also motility, the ability to swim. Pregnant women that get exposed to high levels of phthalates, and if they're carrying a male fetus, right, they're having a boy, what's been shown is it's also affecting sexual development. So these boys, they're getting something called hypospadia. It's where like the slit on the penis is like moved backwards, kind of closer to like what a woman would have, and they're getting undescended testicles. So one of their testicles is not descending, and that's associated with infertility, cancer, testicular cancer being the big one. This is happening at a alarming rate. Like something like 20% of boys now have an undescended testicle. I mean, it's crazy.
Because their mother had high phthalates.
Well, this is definitely something that is known in our environment to cause that. I don't know if that's the only cause, but it, in my opinion, is a very, very concerning cause that nobody is talking about and that should be addressed. And it's everywhere. We have these in all of our plastic wrappers everything that we're eating. You even getting your meat. You think it's meat. It's but it's wrapped in plastic, and the phthalates are getting into the food. So they're getting into our bodies. They're disrupting hormones. They're disrupting sexual development. They're disrupting our ovaries, estrogen, ovarian aging, age of menopause. They're disrupting thyroids, the thyroid hormones. I mean, there's even studies now with pregnant women that have high levels of BPA. They're 6 times more likely to have a child with autism spectrum disorder compared to women with low levels of BPA. Again, BPA is disrupting the estrogen and androgen receptor. And this is very important because the androgen, you want to have, it's disrupting aromatase as well, that enzyme that's involved in converting testosterone into estrogen. So believe it or not, when you're a boy developing in your mom's womb, estrogen plays a very important role in your brain and brain development and what's called masculinizing the male brain. It's kind of contradictory. You're like, oh, well, wouldn't testosterone do that? Well, actually, estrogen is very important for masculizing parts of the male brain. And so when you have aromatase being inhibited by bisphenol A, by this endocrine disrupting hormone that is so ubiquitous everywhere.
That is found in plastic bottles.
Plastic bottles. It's found everywhere.
So what do you recommend?
First of all, I think if you can eliminate and not drink out of plastic bottles as much as possible, if you do want to-go coffee, either drink it there in their mugs or bring your own to-go mug. Like I bring I have like a Yeti kind of to-go coffee mug that I'll bring into a Starbucks or wherever, Coffee Bean, and I'll have them fill it up. Soup, canned soup are lined with BPA. They're lined with plastic. And soup usually goes into the can hot. Sterile technique. I mean, they want to make sure it's, so you're getting, this soup has been classically shown in multiple studies to increase BPA levels by 1,000%. Crazy amounts. So don't eat canned soup as much as possible. I mean, obviously this is about the habit, not the one-off, but try to avoid cans, drinking out of even soda cans, even like your favorite sparkling water cans. Don't make it a daily habit because they are lined with plastic. That's a source of BPA into your bodies. There are ways that you can excrete BPA. So the major way to get rid of it is through urine. It's excreted through your urine, but it has to become water soluble first. It's a fat soluble compound. And so there are things that we can eat in our diet that'll increase that excretion. Compounds in broccoli sprouts being the big one. Sulforaphane activates a pathway that are enzymes involved in making BPA become water soluble so they come out your urine.
Oh, so broccoli's like a cleanser.
It's like a cleanser. It's like we actually do have these, it's called phase 2 detoxification enzymes in our body. We have the ability to detox a lot of things. Mm-hmm. We just have to give our body the right input so that it can activate those pathways. I personally take a supplement of that sulforaphane because I want a concentrated amount of it. Because I used to do broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts have 100 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli, but you have to sprout them, and then there's contamination issues, and it's just, some people do it, it's great, but I used to do it. I don't anymore. I just take a supplement.
And that supplement's called? The
supplement I take is called Avmacol. It's by a company called Nutramax. I don't, I'm not like affiliated with them. I like their supplement because one, they've got 12 published studies using it, clinical studies too, showing that it actually helps with autism. Children and adolescents with autism that take the sulforaphane supplement, they have improved symptoms because it's a detox. It helps. Interestingly, people with autism are like 30 times less likely to excrete BPA. It's a weird thing going on here where BPA increases autism spectrum disorder, but then kids that have it are not able to detoxify it as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, I think that excretion is important, but avoiding the plastic as much as you can. Make it a habit. Don't freak out. I mean, obviously you can like make yourself crazy and stress is not good. As we talked about, I see you like going, oh my God.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about just how casual I am about these things. So, and I could easily make small changes. I could easily make big changes in the position I'm in. I can say in my company, we no longer buy this kind of stuff. I could say in my kitchen, because, to my team or whatever, let's not buy this. Can we go look at my kitchen now?
Let's do it.
Okay,
let's go.
Let's go to my kitchen. Be right. Now you guys can come too. So we're going to go to my kitchen. If you're listening on the dog walk, this might be a nice time to sit on a bench and look, because you're about to go into my kitchen and we're going to look at real things that you might not even know in your kitchen are causing you some of these problems. Come with me. Okay, so the team have been here for the last couple of days. We've been getting lots of takeaways, and so this is a higgledy-piggledy of everybody's food. What's wrong? You're pulling
black plastic.
What's wrong with the black plastic?
We talked about plastic. It has BPA, it has phthalates, but it also typically is made from recycled electronics. And the problem here, Stephen, is recycled electronics have flame retardants in them because you don't want your electronics catching fire. And there have been a variety of studies now that have found that black plastic has a high amount of these flame retardants that are leaching into the food and getting into people's bodies that way. Not only do you not want to eat out of black plastic, you don't want hot food going in there, right? Because that's like the worst.
Can I get a bin bag? I need a bin bag. Okay, so let's throw that in the bin. What else? I'm going to take all of it out.
Okay, this is the other thing that really reaches out, stands out to me, because spicy foods, anything acidic that goes into plastic causes the chemicals to leach into it even more rapidly, kind of the same way the heat does. So heat, acidic foods, not good in plastic.
So my spicy sauce, if it comes in a little plastic tub, it's going to leach in?
Look, if it's the one-off, okay, but like not a habit. Yes, a big time leach in. You're eating BPA hot sauce.
Okay. So the black stuff is out. And
it's going in hot. Yeah, this has phthalates and BPA. I mean, look, are you drinking this every day or is it the one-off?
No comment. No comment. Mind your business. Okay, what else? What about this? This is made of paper.
Here's my little thing I do. See that? Waxy. There's a waxy
This.
PFAS.
On the edge?
Yeah. Does it seem like it has a waxy substance to you?
Yes.
This is better than the black plastic. If you had it, like, if there's like tears, this is better than black plastic.
Okay. And this?
Ding, ding, ding. This is great. This is the best thing that you can do. If you're going to have food made for you or you want to order takeout, have someone make it for you and deliver you in this.
And this is a bamboo lid.
Bamboo lid with Pyrex glass, right?
Okay. So this is good.
This is great.
So I need more of this.
You need more of this and get rid of all, I mean, this is already looking better. This is on the scale, at least it goes in cold. So here's the thing. Microplastics are also shedding into this. We didn't talk about microplastics. They're shedding into here. The chemicals, not as much in something like this, but they're still getting in. So this is a little bit better when it comes to like the tiers here. The hot food is the worst. This is a little bit better, but I still would get lettuce.
Because it's cold.
Because it's cold.
So it's not seeping.
Exactly.
Okay, so I might be able to keep that then. What else do you notice here?
So I noticed that I really like your glass sparkling waters. That's great because, glass is less likely to have microplastic shedding, less likely to have the chemicals. There was a study that actually found, interestingly, there were more microplastics on the top, so the paint that's on these lids. Plastic polymers are used in that. And during the processing and bottling up of these things, they get into the water. And so believe it or not, glass bottled water has more microplastics than plastic bottled water. Okay, this is terrible. But I'm going to tell you why I think this still is worse, okay? So this is got microplastics, but it also has BPA and phthalates. They're in this water. This was not always cold. It's, it was in some warehouse, shipping container. Who knows how it got here? It's been heated up I'm sure several times. The problem is that there was a study showing that glass bottles have a higher amount of microplastics than plastic. And you might go, why is that? Because they're all coming off on this paint and getting in. When it comes to microplastics, size matter. I'm not as worried about it having more microplastics because it would show that they were large microplastics. Your body doesn't absorb large ones very well. They come out through your feces. This has tons of what are called nanoplastics, very, very small particles that get into the gut and get into your bloodstream. So I still go for the glass water. So I would avoid drinking out of these as much as possible. So I like how you have these condiments in the glass. This is how my refrigerator looks as well. I'm very, very obsessive about anything that has acidity in it, like hot sauce and ketchup. It needs to be in glass because the acidity is leaching microplastics and BPA and phthalate chemicals into your condiments, and then you're putting that on your food and you're eating them. Again, this is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Plastic is everywhere. The chemicals are everywhere. And you're not even thinking about the fact that your hot sauce and ketchup are also, vehicles for delivering these microplastics and, their associated chemicals into your body. So I really like these. Like this one, I would go for a glass mustard. Those are better. Glass bottle. So this is plastic. Same thing. It's acidic. I would say, for the most part, or the butter. Oh yeah, this is bad. Is this butter or cheese? Yeah, so this is a problem also. So if you look at this, it's that flexible plasticky stuff, right? It has phthalates in it.
What, this?
Oh, that's even worse. This is, yeah, so this is the plastic that basically, phthalates are in this and they're fat soluble and they're just leaching into this fatty cheese. They're leaching into the fatty cheese. So you can buy cheese that's like without this in just the container. That's a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of feta cheese, for example. Like some feta cheese comes in this plastic wrapper, but you can buy it with just the container. And at least it's not like close, like with juices, like just seeping into it, getting the chemicals into it.
But this is fine, isn't it? Eggs?
Yes, eggs are great.
There we go.
Eggs are great.
We found something. Okay, Rhonda, so spatulas and kitchen utensils. Are these good? Are these bad? What's the best?
Yeah, good question. These are great, right? There's no plastic here, no possibility of plastic leaching into your foods. You got your nice pasta spoon. These are silicone, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
In theory, the silicone should be okay. The problem is that there's a lot of silicone that actually still it's mixed with plastic too. So I go for the wood ones that are like this, like the wooden spatula. That's what I use. You, in theory, should be good. In practice, a lot of silicone that's been measured out there and tested does have plastic. So I would say if you want to really be careful, I would switch.
But most people at home probably have a plastic spatula. Is that accurate?
Most people at home have plastic spatula, and a lot of people also have black plastic spatulas, which again, back to that black recycled electronics, flame retardants. These are cancer-causing chemicals in there, bromolylated chemicals that are causing cancer. So yeah, I would say that even shifting from the plastic to this is probably a step up, but I don't know that this is just pure silicone. I would guess that there's some plastic still in it. And so if you're heating it up, the plastic, it's getting into your food.
Okay. What about my pans? So what about, I've got my pans here.
Great, all clad. This is what I use. These are amazing. No plastic lining, no PFAS, no nonstick. So most people's pans at home have a sort of a protective layer here that's non-stick so that they can cook their food and their food doesn't stick to the pans, like scrambled eggs. They're kind of a pain in the butt if they stick to everything. That has the forever chemicals in them, and that is being heated up and is leaching into your food and you're eating it. So really what you want to avoid the most is Teflon, right? Anything that's non-stick.
It's harder to cook with these though.
It's so much harder, but you know what? You're healthier, and that's what you have to imagine.
The other thing I want to talk to you about is this. The blender.
Ah, yes, the blender. This is one that people often miss. The problem is most blender tops here that's blending your stuff is plastic. And there are studies showing that when you have a lot of friction on plastic, that releases orders of magnitude more microplastics. And of course, their associated chemicals are hitchhiking along there. There are companies that make a stainless steel version of the blender, and I highly recommend if you're someone like myself, I like to do my kale blueberry smoothies. that you switch to the stainless steel. I did. I switched for my family because essentially the friction, you're drinking microplastics and chemicals. So that's bad.
A receipt?
Yeah, don't touch it.
What do you mean don't touch it?
So receipts are...
Why are you touching it like that?
Covered with BPA. I mean, literally just covered. That's how it prints it, right? This isn't like a printer. This is printed, it's a thermal paper. And the BPA is allowing the printing to happen. And so they're covered with bisphenol A. People that are handling receipts, like cashiers that are handling receipts, have really high levels of BPA, particularly if they use like hand sanitizing lotion or any lotion, any sort of cream makes the BPA. Again, BPA is fat soluble. These creams, the hand sanitizers are carrying it inside your bloodstream about 100-fold higher than not having that. So first of all, you can opt to have a receipt emailed to you. If you need the receipt, I would do that. Or, don't touch it. But also, if you work in if you're a cashier and you work in this industry, really, really please wear nitrile gloves. I mean, this is like your BPA levels, if you were to go get them measured, which you can. There are companies out there now that do measure BPA levels in urine. You will see that they are extremely, extremely high. So nitrile gloves will protect you from the BPA getting across your dermal barrier and getting to your bloodstream. Latex gloves do not. So make sure they're nitrile gloves. And then for people that are not in the industry, try to avoid the receipts. I mean, it's a really big exposure to BPA that people aren't even realizing.
I can tell by the way you're like grabbing the corner of it like it's feces or something.
Oh, it's terrible. And my son, kids love paper. And of course, I don't want him touching it because we talked about that study in adolescent boys where they had high BPA levels, and that was associated with a 50% reduction in testosterone. I mean, this is at a part of your life when testosterone is important for sexual development and development in general. So really, really, really important to remember receipts are a very big source of BPA that people are not thinking about, particularly people that are routinely handling these receipts.
And the other thing I want to talk to you about is water. So here is one of my water filters. I also have a filter attached to the tap. What are your thoughts?
So this is filtering water, but it's filtering it into plastic, and it's also got plastic filter. So I think that, you're probably filtering away some other things, pathogens, gross other chemicals that might be in the water, but you're essentially reintroducing the plastic. So I don't know that that's necessarily the best way to get the filter. What you have over here is a reverse osmosis water filter. That is absolutely the ideal. Reverse osmosis water filters filter out microplastics, nanoplastics, BPA, phthalates, chemicals, all these things that we're talking about today. People can get a tabletop one, kind of like this is tabletop, but it's a tabletop reverse osmosis water filter. These only filter out the bigger, larger plastic size, microplastic size. And then the last thing I want to mention, Stephen, because you do have a reverse osmosis water filter, is that it does filter out a lot of small particles, including essential trace elements and some essential like minerals and stuff. So you want to make sure that you are taking a multivitamin mineral supplement, and you can also get what's called little essential element drops that have things like phosphorus, manganese, iodine, some of these things that are being filtered out of your water, and making sure you're reintroducing that to your water.
Okay, so it takes some good stuff out too.
It does, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that maybe is either in my kitchen now or not in my kitchen that is a culprit of BPAs and PFAS?
Yeah. Here's the first problem here. And then inside where the hot water is going through there's plastic pieces. So the hot water is going through plastic to get to your little espresso, cup here. These, I actually looked into this because at first I thought they were lined with plastic. They're not. My concern is mostly the water going through this system that's heating up. It's got plastic, piping in there that it's going through.
Okay, so I'm gonna just stay there and I'm gonna just grab. Okay, so this is now the coffee that I drink called Contir. Huh. They flash freeze it at the perfect moment and it's delivered frozen. So metal, and then this is an aluminium lid.
Right, so it shouldn't be lined with plastic, right?
You go like this, press the little button on top, and it goes straight into your glass, and then this comes out, and that's the coffee.
Oh, I love it.
So you just drop, it's funny because they're a sponsor.
Oh.
So disclaimer, and I'm also an investor in this company. So no machines at all. Put it straight into the glass, pour the hot water in, that's it.
So it's like, instead of instant coffee, it's like instant coffee, but it's real coffee that's been frozen.
It's from some Stanford engineers who flash freeze it at the perfect moment to lock in the taste. And you can literally smell
Smells good.
It smells good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're not putting it in a machine because that's
No longer do that.